everyone, long time no see, I know, but if you only knew what it took for me to get this video filmed today, and I'm praying that this video does see the light of day as well, because my camera keeps cutting out and being really weird because I haven't used it for so long and there's all kinds of updates that need doing, and I haven't got the time to do all of that right now because I had planned to have a little filming day today. Lola's at my mum's and that didn't work out, and I ended up having to do over an hour round trip to source some pizza boxes, and it is now, what time are we? It is 3:15 and I need to be back at the restaurant at 5 o'clock. So yeah, that might give you a little bit of insight into how things have been. I am perpetually tired. I am permanently running around like a headless chicken. I never feel like I'm organised enough and it causes me great anxiety, but I muddle through. That's basically how I've been. How have you been? I'll just talk you through kind of little updates of what's been going on. We'll just have a little bit of a chat, and then at the end we'll go over where hopefully things will be headed maybe. But I will start with Lola. So she is doing really well. She is 15 months old now. She's walking, she can say the odd word, but kind of her speech is coming along a little bit slower than the walking. She is just the funniest, cheekiest little thing. She's so feisty, and I love that about her, but in equal parts it worries me because she is very strong-willed, which I hope will mean she goes far in life. But she is just a little ray of sunshine. She's so cute. And she had an appointment with a health visitor, the second one that we've ever had, the other week, and the health visitor was really chuffed with her progress, and she is just doing really well. She goes to my mum's once a week as well, which I think really helps her social skills, because she was having really bad separation anxiety, where like if I stepped 2 steps away from her, she'd have a full-blown meltdown every single time. She wouldn't go to anybody. She was just really clingy, and like, you know, crying when you'd put her in a car, and just really kind of not great. She seems to be coming out the other side of that now. We're still not there sleep-wise. The sleeping situation is just horrendous. I don't even know, like, I don't even know what to say about that. Maybe we'll have a different chat about that sometime soon, but yeah, we've got 5 AM wake-ups, we've got not proper naps, it's just a nightmare. I don't know what's going on at the moment, and I have literally tried everything. I've even contemplated doing one of those sleep consultant things, but to be honest, I don't really want to pay 300 quid to somebody to do the things that we have been doing and haven't even worked. So I just don't know. I really don't. So yeah, that's that. In restaurant news, it has been a very challenging time. It still continues to be a challenging time for the hospitality industry in general. Staffing is very complex at the moment. I don't know if you've seen it kind of in the news and kind of everywhere, but nobody seems to want to work in hospitality. Yeah, I think it's to do with maybe people not feeling safe kind of dealing with members of the public. Maybe it's to do with the fact that obviously it was one of the hardest hit industries, along with, like, you know, the travel industry and that kind of thing, by COVID, and it has meant that people haven't been able to feel secure in their jobs, even though, you know, we went above and beyond to ensure that our staff were furloughed. And I think what a lot of people don't realise with the furlough scheme as well is they think that it's just, oh well, you know, the government paid your wages, but it's not just that, is it? First of all, we have to pay our accountant to do our payroll each month. That's not free. Secondly, you have to pay the national insurance, you still have to pay the pension, in some cases the wage top-ups. It's a lot more complex than people realise, and it does cost a lot of businesses a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying that that's the situation in a lot of businesses, and I know there's been a lot of businesses that have very much taken advantage of the scheme, but I definitely feel very proud of how we have done that. However, that still doesn't guarantee you that staff members are not just going to walk away. When we reopened, we had about 3 or 4 staff members that just kind of, there's no nicer way of saying it than just buggered off, to be honest, and left us short, and you still have to pay holiday pay and all kinds of things like that. So that part of it has been very challenging, and finding new staff you would think kind of, well, what's the problem? You know, just hire more. For every application that I used to have maybe like 40 applicants, I'm now lucky if I get one. It's very, very bad. It's not a pay situation. You know, I won't go into the ins and outs of that, but I don't believe that it is to do with that. I understand that it's a hard job. Believe me, I understand more than anyone that it is a hard job. It is. It's a physical job. It's dealing with members of the public. There's that whole element of it with, you know, you have to deal with people who don't want to do the track and trace, people who don't want to wear masks. It's challenging. It really, really, really is. I understand all of that. But if none of us work in the industry, then you'll just have to be at home every day because, you know, there won't be anywhere to go. And there's a lot of inconsistency, I think. There's businesses that are not doing the steps that they should be doing, and then it makes people think that businesses who are just being overzealous, but that's not really the case. And it's just a very, very complicated situation, and one that I understand kind of the different elements to it, but ultimately, you know, like, I want my business to succeed, and I want my staff to be safe, and I want the public to enjoy it. And we've been very, very busy, which I'm super, super grateful for, and the feedback has been generally good. But people seem to forget that, you know, like I said, the industry as a whole is struggling. We have got friends who own restaurants and cafes and bars and things locally, and who are having to only open a few days a week because they literally cannot find the staff. It's very, very, very challenging in a way that it never has been before. So that part of it has been very, very hard. And finding people that are not the right fit, and just the staffing thing has been very, very difficult. So I'm very grateful for the staff members that we do have at the moment, and I'm very grateful that we have been busy, and the support that we've had from kind of, you know, customers has been great. So that's that. But juggling that and motherhood has been so, so hard, because I think one of the things that people maybe don't realise is, you know, like, I don't go home, and if I'm not at the restaurant, then that's it. The amount of phone calls and texts and people, you know, staff members needing things from me, and account things you have to do, and social media things you have to do, and orders you have to do, and invoices you have to pay, and all of the COVID things that you have to put in place, and that you have to make sure that everything is a certain way, and all of these things, it takes up so, so much of your time that I do very much feel like I'm kind of splitting myself 50 different ways, like I'm not doing a good enough job at anything, I'm not present enough at anything. The lighting's gone a bit weird, hasn't it? Has that made any difference? The sun's just gone in, of course. I'm here, aren't I? You've just got to laugh at it at this point, because honestly, it is like, I feel like I'm living my life like Mr. Bean. Everything's just a comedy of errors. I am so spread thinly, as is Paul, and we are just running around constantly trying to juggle Lola, trying to keep Lola happy. Lola comes with us to the restaurant a lot, and trying to just keep everything in check. That way a little bit so it's facing the window, because I felt like it was just getting a little bit dark. But yeah, trying to keep everything in check. That it's mentally very challenging, and it's very challenging when you know that, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you know that your cup is so, so empty. I'm going to get emotional talking about this, but I've had one of those days today where I've just ran around all day, and it's just really hard. It's really hard, especially if you're somebody who wants to be on top of everything, and who usually is on top of everything and is really organised. It's really hard when you're not able to be. I did not want to come on the internet. Yeah, it's really hard when you're not able to be like that, and when it's not your fault because you're doing everything that you can do. It's just, you know, the circumstances that you're in, and I always just feel like, you know, I don't have enough time to, you know, do like nice fun stuff with Lola. And like, she has been in lockdown pretty much for her whole first year of her life, and she's not had a chance to like have nice days out and go and do things and things like that. But I haven't got time to have these nice days out and go and do things at the moment, because I'm trying to get everything organised, and I'm trying to sort the staffing situation out, and just constantly just, it's really challenging, because it literally does feel like we've reopened a restaurant 3 times from the beginning now. The first time after the first lockdown, and then again now. and then the first original time, and it's just so hard. Like, I think only people who kind of are in the hospitality industry will get some of the pressures of that. Like, my mum has her cafe now, and she just gets it. She's just like, oh my god, like, I don't know how you do it. It's just so intense. But like I said, we've been really busy, which is wonderful after being closed for a year, so fingers crossed we stay that way. What else? I have had both my COVID vaccinations. Had my second one last week, so I'm really chuffed about that. The vaccination centre locally has actually moved right next to the restaurant, so we've kind of set up a discount scheme for like the NHS workers and things through the vaccination centre, and that's been really nice to be able to kind of do that. And I had a little chat with them about it today and everything. It was like I was trying to leave, and then the guy turned up and he wanted to speak to me, and it's just always like that. My phone doesn't stop ringing without people wanting to run things by me, and it's just a lot. But that has been going on as well. Weight loss. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yeah, weight loss. So many of you have been asking for a full diet update, which I will do, because you have kindly noticed that I have lost quite a significant amount of weight. I'm not going to discuss numbers purely because I have been down that road before, and I know a lot of you find it really triggering, and I don't want to upset anybody, so we won't be talking about numbers. However, let's just say that I am now between a size 10 to 12, and I'm about 2.5 kilos away from my goal weight. My goal weight, that's kind of on the slightly higher end of what my kind of goal weight range is, which is kind of within like a 3 kilo space. I could possibly get down a little bit lower than that, but I'll see how I feel. And I have found it just life-changingly easy and straightforward and enjoyable. And I'm going to do a full video talking about it and what kind of clicked and how I feel, and just all of that kind of thing is coming, I promise. When I have just the time to kind of sort it out, I will definitely do that for you, because I just think that, like, it's something that I understand why you guys want to know about it, especially post-baby, when it's hard to kind of feel like you, and you don't feel your kind of sexiest and your kind of like self, and what do you wear and all of that kind of thing. And it has just been the best thing for me, really has. I just feel so much more confident. So yeah, obviously that's not to say that you shouldn't feel confident whatever size you are, but it's as long as you're happy at the size that you are, and I wasn't, and that's just me. And like I always say as well, I'm very short. I'm only 5'1", so I haven't got much wiggle room. But yeah, I will do a full update on that. So thank you so much for kind of the interest on that. I have got a diet account on Instagram as well, if you follow me on there, called Diet with V, where I kind of do a bit more meal stuff on there and things like that. I am going to start doing more of that kind of content on here. What I eat in a day, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. That's not to say that I didn't just eat like half a big packet of crisps today, because I was running around. I didn't have time, but usually on work days it's a little bit more all over the place. But that's another part of it. I think people kind of think that it's been a very quick journey, and a friend of mine came to visit a little while ago, and she was like, well, she didn't say it to me, she told Paul, and Paul told me, but she said to Paul that she was concerned. She said that, you know, I'd lost so much weight, like in a short space of time. I mean, I don't think it was a short space of time, but and that she thought I looked a bit thin, and was like, okay. And I was sort of trying to explain that, yes, but you have to also understand it wasn't necessarily intentional. I run around all day long, like I don't stop. I have been up and down from that restaurant today 3 times. So like there and back, there and back, there and back 3 times, and I need to go back later as well. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing just adds up. And at the restaurant it's really physical work if I'm like doing bits and bobs of, like, you know, front of house. You're coming, going up and down stairs, like I easily do my 10,000 steps by like 3 o'clock. So that's kind of been a contributing factor, and just being really, like, literally there were days when I didn't even have time to eat dinner, when Lola's sleep was so bad, and I'd come home from work when Paul had been with her all day, and I'd come home at 5 and we'd swap, and he'd go in and I'd bath her and sort her out, and then she wouldn't settle and she'd be up, and it'd be like 9 o'clock and I wouldn't have eaten, and I would just be like, I can't even, I'm too tired to even bother to make something, and that's not great, and that's not healthy, and that's not happened loads of times, but that part of it has been contributing in a certain way as well. So yeah, that is where we're at. I am hoping to be able to do one video a week. I'm going to try and put the videos out maybe on a Wednesday or a Sunday. You let me know what you prefer in terms of scheduling. Videos coming up that I've got planned are, I'm going to do, like I said, the kind of diet update, chit chat, weight loss, whatever. We're going to do one of those. We're going to do a hair update because my hair has been growing quite well, and I've been taking some different supplements and things like that I feel like have been making a difference in my routine, and that it's not at its absolute best today, because yesterday I had a really rushing around day where I had to do some food shopping for the restaurant, and I didn't get home until like 9 o'clock, and so I washed it and I went to bed with it a bit wet, and then it was still wet this morning. It was a whole thing anyway. So yeah, today is kind of not looking its best, but the products I'm using in general I'm quite chuffed with, and I'm quite kind of enjoying it. And the reason that kind of I decided to go back to wearing it curly, number one, was just it was time. I just didn't have the time to be straightening it or doing anything else. But also Lola's hair is really, really curly, really, really curly. And we were in a shop, and the shop assistant commented on the fact that she had curly hair, and she said, oh, she'll have difficult hair. And I don't know why, but it really, really annoyed me. And I was just like, don't call my child's hair difficult. You're difficult. I don't know, it annoyed me anyway. And then I was just like, no, it's not difficult hair. It's curly hair. It's beautiful hair. And no. And then I kind of realised that, you know, how am I going to kind of teach Lola that if I change mine? So that was the thought process behind that. So yeah, that's why I've started wearing mine curly again, because I want to set an example for my daughter that curly hair is fantastic, because it is, as is straight hair, as is whatever hair you naturally kind of have. And if you choose to change your hair as well when you're an adult, then that is entirely fine and understandable too. I hope that you're all doing really well. I am so looking forward to reading the comments on this video and seeing all of your like familiar names pop up and having a little chat with you in the comments. So please let me know how you've been, and what kind of content you'd like to see. Like I said, the hair update's coming, and I'm going to do a little products I'm loving at the moment kind of thing as well, I think. But I have missed you loads. I'm sending you the biggest like virtual hug. Like, just yeah, I'm super happy to be back, and I will see you all next week hopefully. I hope you'll have a great rest of your week, whatever you're doing, and yeah, let me know how you're all doing, and I will see you all very soon.